Bonjour, everyone. Welcome along to the Monday Night Live Lounge, the show after what has just been a ridiculous day of darts. I'm Phill Bars, Lee Boyce. I'm not going to lie, we have got no idea where Gob is. Just putting it out there.
Good evening. We all good?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, all good. I've enjoyed the action today from the office, and not a lot's happened, right? What a ridiculous day.
The elephant in the room. Do you want to address it early?
Are we going straight to Instagram? No, let's start positive. Let's start positive because we will move on to it. However, it's been an incredible day of darts. We've seen some ridiculous performances. We've seen Cedar dead end ridiculously in that first couple of rounds. So I think we need to start positive.
Look, it was just a mad day of darts throughout, and I don't know where to start, if I'm being honest, because it was just that bonkers.
We'll start with a welcome to everyone who's now joining the after party, it seems, which never normally is the case on a Monday, but it is the after party because we've already had 6-7 hours of you on stream of the Pro Tours being back.
I'm not going to lie, I am shattered, but it's all worth it.
Yeah, there's so many stories that, let's be honest, we don't always have from a Pro Tour event. But we've certainly got plenty.
Yeah. First of all, are you going to apologise to Luke now, or do you want to leave it a little
bit? Yeah, I've already been tagged in quite a few stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I expected it. Once it got to around the last 16 stage, once he put the performance in against Menzies, obviously throughout the day he put in some good stuff, but at that stage I thought this is only done one way, and I'm gonna have to apologise at 8 o'clock. And sorry, Luke, to not have you down to win a Pro Tour this year. And he wins the first one.
Yeah, and look, it takes two to tango as well. Look, we'll come on to it more in depth in a minute, but Ryan Searle has done absolutely nothing wrong and lost an incredible game.
Has there been many better Pro Tour finals? There's been some, but has there been many better?
Off the top of my head, no. Not in terms of two players. Occasionally, there's been one outstanding performance, but for two to give it like that, no.
I was trying to think before I come on of one that, of the magnitude of that was just ridiculous. Was it the 15th? No, the 13th lead that was the first one over 15?
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, at that point, I was happy Ryan Searle won because it was just, it deserved to go all the way. It would have been unfair any other scoreline. It's still unfair on Ryan Searle right now, but any other scoreline other than 8-7 would have been unfair on any player whatsoever.
Wait a minute. Let me switch to my laptop then. 2 seconds. Right, I'm just going to remove myself and then re-enter, Boise. 2 secs.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just say a quick hello to the chat room. IBM, Kieran's in, Lendl's in, James is in, HGV. Ed, congratulations on 34K. Yes, very good from everyone at Online Darts, and thank you very much for the continued support. Rebecca, Bob, Pete, James, David, Adam, Jack, quite a few in already. Rob, it's the highest combined average for a final since DARTS Connect started collecting the data. That probably answers my question, Mr. Bars. If there's been a better one, well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
An echo.
Wait a minute. Why is that? That's off.
That's better. Yeah, that's not. That's even better. He's done completely.
Is that better?
Yes, that's loads better.
I don't know. It did this earlier because it's like it was feeding back through something it shouldn't because it was muted. Very, very creepy.
And the comment in the chat room, do I still think Little will win a Players' Championship event this year? I've already apologised for that. So you're late to the party. Apology had already been given.
It's funny.
Yeah, for everyone else.
Yeah. Right. I think we've now sorted the technical issue out, which is all good. But yeah, the high, like you said there, the combined highest average since Start Connect started from Rob there says it all. It's just preposterous.
Yeah, he just done it throughout the day. There was dips around the 32-64 staging with odds to the scoring and the numbers, but he sort of set the precedence early on. And then Jim Williams didn't do an awful lot wrong, and we know how good Jim Williams is. If you just look at his rantings, considering the TV events he's not played in or where the events he's missed, we know how good Jim can be, and to sort of demolish him in round one, sort of set that precedence up for the rest of the day.
Yeah, just bonkers. And that was the more impressive thing for me. In the middle part of the day, the fact he found a way to win without being at his very best, that's a quality that all the greats have had. We all know their A game is ridiculous, but to win when not playing at his very best says it all. A maturity beyond his 17 years.
Oh yeah, without doubt. That's the only thing missing from today that I was hoping to see when it was becoming more and more potential, and I'm going to blame a certain Cameron Menzies for spoiling the fun, because I was so hoping to see Leighton Bennett and Luke Littler do each other at that last 16 stage. That is probably the only thing that's missing from, like it says, on a day that has delivered so much, where we don't always see that. We've seen it from the off, and I know we're just watching lyrical about Luke Littler at the minute, but there's so many impressive players coming through today, Leighton Bennett being one of those. And so many on debut or returning to Pro Tour action and performing so well.
Yeah, evening Matador. Look, it's all good. I'll sleep well tonight, that's for sure. How are we doing, Jim? Hope you are good. But look, there was so many question marks going in today's Pro Tour. We'll come back to Luke and that in a minute. But I was interested to see, because some players haven't played since the World Championships. So there was going to be question marks around some of them. One big one in particular was Suits, because he missed the World Championships. He didn't have a particularly good year last year, but he looked refreshed today.
Yeah, it's a huge year for Suits because of how successful he was 2 years ago on the tour. That sort of success moved a bit of the pressure last year, and it was a bit of a free hit. And we've seen a lot of players perform a lot better with that free hit, actually. But Alan Suter seems to need that pressure to find the best performances and to start the year the way he has done. And is huge credit to Suits, because we know the game that he can play, and he's had a ridiculously good start. Just the amount of people who are commenting in the group with different stats around it is just ridiculous around how far he's off certain rankings. But yeah, Suter deserves an awful lot of praise for what's a very, very good start to his campaign after a huge period away from the board.
Yeah, absolutely. How are we doing, Mark? Hope you are good. I'm just getting up
I'm just looking at his numbers, Phil. £91,000 Suits has got to defend this year. He only won 24 last year. So to start that off, he's actually earns a fifth of what he earned last year in 1 day's work. And that's on a Pro Tour, which is one of the lowest paid that you're going to get. So it's a great start for Suter.
Yeah. Adam, I'll start that. I'll answer it in a minute because I've maybe got a slightly different take to some people and God, but we'll come back to that in a second. But yeah, look, Suits was superb. Another one, Nick Kenny, that we all know. Look, Nick's captain and represented Wales. We all know what a fabulous player he is. But to get to a quarter final, fair play to him.
Yeah, without doubt, he's another one who's a desk with some of the names that we've had come through. Obviously, we've Luke coming through. It's sort of one that's done under the radar a little bit in regards to the start of the year, but it's a great start with a Pro Tour where you've got majority of your best players. Is it 7 of the 8 Premier League players?
Yeah, it was only Michael who didn't play.
Yeah, that may drop to 6 tomorrow, but throughout the rest of the season, that number
to 6 tomorrow.
Throughout the rest of the season, that number will probably be less. You'd expect that to be probably around 4 or 5 for most of them. So to have the field that he has done, it jumped all over the fact that the seeds or majority of the seeds haven't performed to the level that they can. And then it's just a great start to 2024 for Nick Kenny.
Yeah. Also, James Hurrell, a new tour card holder. Again, we've seen him played some good stuff, but again, good to see him doing it as a full tour card holder.
Yeah, I guess he's one who we know has got that level of consistency, being number 1 in the WDF without winning the World Championships. Shows that you've got to have a certain high level of consistency. And he was that going into the 2022, I want to say, World Championships. So we know that game's there for James Hurrell. For him to get the card, surely he's only going to push on, and it's a good way to start.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about it. Gezi pulling out due to poor conditions, and look, he wasn't the only one to cite conditions today. Granted, he was the only one to pull out. Apparently, it was very cold in there today, but to pull out after 6 legs? I'm not sure if I agree with pulling out, but conditions have to be better for these events. If it was as cold, because Dobie's said the same on social. I spoke to a few other people that were there and said it was freezing in there. First of all, we'll do the Gezi one first. Probably not the right thing to do.
There's no problem about it for me. Definitely not the right thing. If you're attending a tournament and you make that decision half hour, 10 minutes, whenever it may be before Dame's playing, then there's a problem about it. But right now, Desi won 2 games, average 101, 109 or 110, I think, playing some world-class stuff. To go then 6 leads into another game and then decide that it was too cold, it just isn't right. The second part of that, the PDC have made it very clear by the movement of Pro Tours to midweight that this is very much, if it hasn't been before, a professional tour. If you're on the tour, the standards we expect and what we expect from the players, the PDC have got to make sure they're doing their part of the bargain and delivering with a venue that will provide world-class starts. And if it's as bad as what Price, Dobie, and I'm sure a few others have said, just not as publicly, the PDC have got to make that better, but he can't be leaving midway through a game.
You know, I remember when Duzza did something similar, and that was his one regret about when he was going through his tough spell, that he didn't just play. But like we say, going forward, conditions have to be better, because playing darts, you can deal with most things, but a breeze and cold are the two that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, just looking at, I've seen one of the comments about he played rugby in freezing wet and windy conditions. Completely different.
Yeah,
Completely different for a professional dart player. The conditions can't be told.
no,
The
because
grip on the dart just won't be right.
your fingers don't open quick
Yeah.
enough when your hands are cold is the issue. So
Um,
it's not about he's just cold. Your fingers don't physically open quick enough.
the question marks are there because it's not as if he's won his 2 games early on in the day by strapping through. He won his 2 games by putting in 2 world-class performances. That's why the question marks are a lot.
One of them was on the stream board, so that's slightly different again.
But still,
I'm not condoning it, by the way. But I'm just saying that you are chopping and changing boards. The other thing that kind of never got announced, but they've ditched the old way because they changed streaming boards after round 1 today, which I'm all for, by the way.
yeah, it's a better move. We saw too many of the same, didn't we? With the streaming boards moving to 4 was a positive, but then what they did with how they rotated the boards round wasn't. So hopefully now that will be better. Certainly a positive move for people who tune into PDC TV and watch streaming boards. No surprise to see Littler on the first one.
Shock.
Yeah, he stepped up to it, didn't he? So.
Yeah. Michele Toretta as well, the first Italian to win a tour card. And getting to the last 32 on debut, I'm pretty sure he'll take that.
Just about. And then Littler's involved in this story because it was Littler who stopped Toretta further forward. But to do a demolishment of Dave Chisnell in your opening game, that's what's required on Pro Tours. They say how important it is and how hard it is on Pro Tours to get these wins. To beat Dave Chisnell first round is certainly, and to do it with, yes, Dave not playing at his best, but still not playing too bad. It's a great start. And then probably a bit of nerves about going up against Lou Littler as the performance dropped significantly. And as you said, Lou, in the middle of the day, found ways to win games, and this was one of those.
Yeah. How are we doing, Nathan? Hope you are good. Right, there was a question. I'm going to answer it. First of all, I'll have your take on it before I give mine. Thoughts on Sky sending out notifications when Littler hitting a 9-darter, completely disregarding Bennett and Mansell's earlier on. Not just that, there was actually a breaking news bit on Sky Sports News as well that Emma did. Obviously, it's not Emma's fault because she's told what to do. First of all, your thoughts on it?
The coincidence of it happening while Emma on Sky works quite well, doesn't it? I'm not totally opposed to it. My concern isn't around the breaking news story. It's more around when we've saw it before, and I guess it was probably more prominent with Fallon initially, and now we're seeing it with Lute. It's making it in the article, or if it's more of an in-depth conversation, then you would discuss it. I'm not that fussed, if I'm being honest. It's another way of us promoting darts. It's people who have got Sky Sports News on, or offices, or anywhere like that it's on all day and it's running in the background, and then it's just showing more of darts. Would I like to see it promoting more? Of course I would. I'd like someone in Sky Sports News doing it like Soccer Saturday, because you'd promote the game more. However, that's not going to be the case. So when Littler's doing something magic, which he's doing at the moment, it's going to get spoke about. I guess that the one thing is there's a player, the youngest ever player to hit a 9. Yes, it didn't last long. That's probably the one that you're a bit more surprised isn't reported. Does that to be a rivalry that Sky and media could get behind, and we could have saw the start of that today. So close.
Look, I look at it slightly different, and I did with Fallon that the fact that a major broadcaster in the UK, arguably they are the biggest sports broadcaster in the UK, are promoting a Pro Tour, regardless of who it is, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
And it's like it's eyes on the sport. Would they have done it for anyone else? No. But at the end of the day, they want traffic to their platforms as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But the same as we do, there's a reason Luke Littler, Gary Anderson, and that were on our thumbnail. There was a reason Fallon was on our Q School thumbnail. That unfortunately, certain players have bigger profiles and attract more attention than others. But the fact that eyes are on the sport is a good thing.
Yeah, you on Sky Sports now, on their website, you've got a full Players' Championship review that, as I would go as far as say, has never been done on Sky Sports before for a Pro Tour event.
Off the top of my head, I would agree.
There is mention of Leighton Bennett. There is mention of Mickey Mansell both hitting theirs. Yes, 90% of the article is about Lou Littler. However, he's also done it and won it. So that's only right to do so. I'm more positive about it, that it's being produced than, let's say, what Dob was on his socials a few hours ago. But it would be nice to see it being not just about Luke. And for him himself, because yes, he's not feeling the pressure at the moment, but there is a time that may come.
Yeah, 100%. But look, the fact that the Pro Tour is getting big media coverage is a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
MVG, the only one of the Premier League 8, he pulled out late. Was I surprised? No. Was I disappointed? Yes. Because I still don't think he has played enough Pro Tours in the last 18 months. And it's not about winning them. This is where you get sharp and battle ready. This is why you're used to that hustle and bustle and that grind of the tour.
I'm not as disappointed. I have more the questions when the Premier League's not on, or they're not bombarded with a stupid month of darts. He had a holiday on. Was it Saturday, Sunday?
I think he went Friday, Saturday, and then I think he ended up staying Sunday. I'm not sure if that was always part of the plan.
When I saw it, I wasn't surprised with the news, because it clearly switched off after Thursday and decided that it was time to have some family time and a weekend away. I'm not sure if holidays and that work the same as to do over here with stalling and stuff, so I'm not opposed to it. The more it goes on, the more I would worry, but right now I don't think it's such a big
I wasn't surprised, but I just think for him that he's not battle ready.
He'll be ready on Thursday.
I'm not convinced right now. I'm really not. Don't get me wrong. If he turns up and gets it right, he's still brilliant. But he doesn't get it right often enough at the moment because he's not playing in things like this. You look at people that have gone back and rebuilt their career: Rob Cross, Gary Anderson, to name but a couple. Last year, Aspinall and Wright didn't play enough on the Pro Tour, and it cost them. I just think this is where you hone your skills and you get it right.
Yeah. I just think it's one event. As I said, the more it progresses or potentially progresses, then I'll have more of a concern. But the game on Thursday or the week on Thursday will be where he shows if it was worthwhile or not. But I expect to see him back Monday, Tuesday next week. He's one I'd be surprised if he's not there next week, because it's very rarely you see these players miss so many of them. So I think MVG will be back.
Oh yeah, of course he will. Yeah, I was just a little bit surprised. That was all. Peter Wright, again, big concerns right now.
I honestly don't know where he turns or where he goes. He's playing in everything that's available and not performing. His confidence looks shot both on the floor and on TV. He's playing in Glasgow. going to be a turning point or a confidence boost. But the flip of that, if he gets his ass handed to him in one way of putting it on Thursday night, that could knock him even further down in where we are at the minute. I struggle to see how that turn is going to happen. He's just on a complete downward spiral, and I'm not sure where that win comes. I guess was in a similar position though when he went on and won the European Championships. Maybe not as bad a form, but I didn't see that win coming. Adam, I totally agree with that comment. However, they do react to him being there. Gary Anderson isn't there a little bit.
He got booed in Aberdeen last year.
Yeah. I don't think he will this year.
This is a really good one. I can't remember the last time that there wasn't a call-up. I genuinely can't.
It's got to be pre-COVID.
Yeah, I off the top of my head, without going back and looking, I can't remember the last time we had a complete 1-2-8.
I'm trying. Would it potentially be? And it may not still have been a full field then, but close to it, because you'd have had all the big players there. When the Pro Tours were before the Grand Prix, you had the 2 days in Ireland, because you already had 32 players over there. So
possibly
that's as far back as the likelihood is, but definitely not throughout COVID. And then post that, it certainly hasn't happened, to my knowledge.
No, I can't remember. Going back to Luke, at the start of this, he was 22.5 grand off of the match play. Now he's only 8.5 grand. We'll be stupid for even doubting it.
You're asking the wrong person that question, let's be honest. Yeah, we was. I won't be surprised if they did it already, but he's probably going to be the poster boy for the match play, and he's not already in the list of qualifying yet. They're probably being made already. There's no way that he doesn't make it. The start he's had, he's got still 4 months of qualification. There's no way that he doesn't qualify for the TV events. Cheers, Jack. I don't see it. I just can't see it. I can't see him not being in any of them now.
Well, he's already in the green for the World Grand Prix as well.
After one event.
After one event, he's gone from nowhere to in the green.
There's a long way to go, but I just can't see it. I honestly just can't see it. I think right now, and I heard you speak about it a bit on stream early on about will he overburn? Is he playing too much? And he's 17. At 17, at any sport, you just wanted to play it all the time. And let's be honest, we saw him, was it last year? I think it was a week before he was down into finals week at Super Series. And I want to say he was somewhere in Spain with a practice board playing 3-4 hours practice while he was on holiday.
He's in Benidorm.
And it was just, he just wants to play. So if you've got the opportunity to play week in, week out, either on the biggest stage or at Pro Tours, why wouldn't you do it? And I fully believe the people he's got around him will make that decision or speak to him about that decision if he needs to step back or have a week off or have time off from it. But right now, he's on such a high. Just let him keep going.
Yeah, look, I agree. And plus, he doesn't have the same issues that other players have to play all the time.
Yeah. The commitments just are not the same when he's 17 in comparison to...
I wasn't about commitments. I was about preparation.
Yeah, well, there is that as well. But that's the same for some players. Others obviously slightly different, but just don't attack it. Just right now, I think pre-Worlds, and we was talking about what the potential is for Littler, and what could happen if he reaches certain stages. I don't think we ever got to that sort of fertile one, but right then I was a bit wary of pushing too much too soon. But he's embracing absolutely everything. Yes, there may be an overkill. Yes, there may be that. But let's be honest, he had so much negative press as well during the Worlds, and he's sort of just brushed all that to one side, and he's just let his darts to the tot in, and he's delivered it then on day one. So I can't see how he's not going to go on and win more titles in the short period of time. Because right now, he's won 2 titles. They're down not the most glamorous in the Bahrain Darts Masters and a Pro Tour event, but I'm sure there's plenty more to come. And that UK Open draw is going to be horrible for whoever that's in.
It should be an interesting one. What do you think Luke's world ranking will be before the match play? I don't think there's enough big events to get him in the top 16. The big money's are after the halfway point.
What's UK Open players? Winner?
125, I think.
So that would move him. Obviously, there's probably money in that to come off, but that would move him. You know what? If he wins that, he's in with a shout.
I agree, but I just look, the fact he's only got one shot at a big payday between now and the match play.
And you know what? Right now, I don't want him to be in the nicest way possible. Does that make that draw for the match play that even bit more tastier when you've got what would potentially be one of the most informed players, if not by then the most informed player in the world, as an unseeded player?
Can you imagine him and Gary floating around in the unseeded section?
It'd just be horrible, wouldn't it? It'd be up there with if Gary's got the form that he's produced last year, you'd potentially have 2 of the most informed players as you're unseeded. It'd be totally backwards. But yeah, part of me doesn't want that to happen, just as I think it makes that draw a bit more tastier.
You know what I'm going to ask now, and chat room, is he the best player in the world right now?
It's so hard to say. It's what period of time we go over. You know,
just right now, is he the best player in the world?
He's just won the event, so yeah. However, I don't know. I know Luke Humphries hasn't had a fantastic start to his year as a world champion, but if you've got to look at over the past few months, he's still got to be in the reckoning. He owes little one. Now, doesn't he, after a couple of results down the other way? But yeah, he is. After all that, yeah, he is.
All right. I'll give you a time frame. I think it's fair to say that last year Luke Humphries was the best player. Since the World Championships, is Luke Littler the best player in the world?
100%, yes.
I agree. Since the Worlds, he is the best player in the world right now.
And the people competing, you've got to look at someone like Bunting, obviously after his Masters win. But yeah, there's no one else other than Luke Littler right now.
Does he go on and become the youngest ever world champion?
Oh, Philip. I'm going to say no.
Everyone back Luke Littler to win the World Championship this year.
Surely he turned the bat-to-bat final. You know what? Not even winning it. Surely he turned the bat-to-bat World Championship finals.
Why not?
It's there, isn't it? It's hard to put predictions in for what's going to happen in 10 months' time, but it's hard to see him not being there or thereabouts.
You think he's got 7? To put there, he's got 7 chances to be the youngest ever PDC world champion.
You didn't say PDC.
All right, the only world champion.
It wasn't. There's times when there's more than one, which is now, by the way. It's that's part of it. What What does he go and achieve in the next few months, in the next leading up to match play, the Pro Tours, the draw tomorrow? Can he go back to bat? Has anyone done back to bat
What, on date?
on debut? Surely
No,
not.
not that I can remember.
Surely not.
But I would say no.
Wasn't Dozer one of the earliest to win it? Didn't he win it at attempt 2? So
Yeah, no,
yeah, let's worry about it tomorrow before we're talking about his world championship. Before that one run.
But yeah, no, look, Luke, just sensational. And yeah, that's why I said I can't remember that far back whether Phill did it on debut or not, Lendl. Without going to get the history books out, that's what we said. We're doing off the top of our head. So let's go back to Berlin. Initially, your thoughts on the Premier League night that's just gone?
Weirdly, it's a shame it happened in night 2 because that's one of the best Premier League individual nights that I can remember for a while. And when I say it's a shame it happened in night 2, because normally you probably want that about night 11, night 12, when the same we saw week in, week out. But it delivered on all fronts. The atmosphere was outstanding. I can't remember any sort of bad moments from the crowd. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
there was a few. I think the Sky Audio man had a good night. There was a few.
Well, nothing was picked up from my watching between TV and phone throughout the night of different variations when I lost the TV. But that aside, every game delivered something, with quality drama all the way up until the final. Was it the most leads played in this format? Only 2 leads short of the maximum being played. It just delivered across the field. And I guess you question marks about Michael. He answered them last week. It's will that break doing good, and he return and do it again this week. But it was a great win for MVG.
Yeah, but let's roll back. First of all, game 1, Aspinall was cruising. And look, although Michael played well, Nathan fell off.
That drop was... I can't remember seeing a drop of that magnitude in such a short format on TV for a while by a top player. Yes, MVG performed very well, but the drop from Aspinall to end up on 93, where he was it around 106, 107 part Phill for a lot of that? It was such a big drop.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. He was was he 4-1 or whatever it was, or 4-0 maybe. He was averaging well over a ton and playing so well, and to finish 93, that's some come down.
Huge thumb down. Huge thumb. And was it the week before he's talking about how much he's struggling?
Yeah.
And the name's there. I guess we applaud players when they're honest with us. However, it can also play in their mind what they've said publicly. I don't want to say it's an excuse out, but sometimes it can be looked at then. It's expecting a slightly easier ride. It was a massive drop from the Asp, but I'm less concerned about Nathan than I am, I guess, someone else in the Premier League.
Yeah. Also, Gerwyn Price lost to Michael Smith. I'm not sure how, because it was a game that you always felt he was in control of, but Smith found a way.
Yeah, it as you said there, I felt that Price was going to edge that last lead, but Smith just found his world championship or not his World Championship form, but the battle that he had sometimes in that World Championship to sort of get a win that maybe we're not expecting with the current form of Michael Smith. So it was a great win for Bully Boy.
Yeah, 100%. Luke Littler beating Rob Cross, 104 for Luke again. I thought Rob played decent as well. Improvement from Peter Wright with the MVG painted darts, which was quite funny. But again, I know he averaged 94, which is the best we've seen, but wasn't quite there still.
That sums it up, I think. The best we've seen of Peter Wright is 94. Sort of tells you where his game is at the minute. Luke Humphries was very, very impressive. Peter Wright done well to battle to 4, but right result. And I guess when you look at the sort of predictions that we made, and there was filtering through on Sunday night and Monday morning last week, Phil, that no one had Peter Wright to that more than 1 or 2 in this game. So to that to 4 seems to be a positive.
Yeah. Then semi-finals, again, how MVG Smith was close, I'm not quite sure.
Shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have been close. MVG averaging 107, played some super stuff. Luke Littler edging out Luke Humphries. Again, Humphries will be disappointed because he had chances in that game, and every time he got a chance, he handed it straight back to Luke Littler, because Humphries had the darts in that semi-final, and it was like every time he broke, he handed it. And it was one of those ones where he'll be disappointed, Humphries.
Oh yeah, without doubt. And yes, he's won the bigger one, but right now, it just can't seem to get that result against Littler. And the current form suggests that these two will meet numerous times. I would go as far to say, with the form of these two and the rest of the Premier League, these will meet about half of the Premier League weeks. I think they will meet in numerous finals. Obviously, they'll be on the same side of the draw, and they'll be favourites, both of them, to then meet in that semi-final. So I think we're going to see Humphries and Littler face each other at least 8-9 times in this Premier League. So there will be opportunities for Humphries to get that win, but right now it doesn't matter. When them two are on the stage, it just seems to be a Littler outcome.
Yeah. Then in the final, what a final.
Great win. Great win for MVG. Great final. Great emotion as well. I think sometimes a Premier League win for certain players isn't celebrated as much as what this one was for MVG. Would it have been different if it was someone else on the stage with him? Maybe. But the fact he's then got one over on Luke Littler at that stage is probably why he gave it that little bit more. Like we've seen before when he's done it against Price, when Price was sort of up and coming into the ranks and other players have done so. I think it was just one of those times where MVG proves his worth and sort of says, I'm still the man to beat round here. That's the message he's always trying to portray, isn't it?
It's the message he's always trying to send, but I don't think it worries Luke. Luke's just like, yeah, whatever. Well, don't get me wrong, MVG is the king of getting in people's heads, but I genuinely don't think it bothers Luke.
I don't think it does, but Michael's not going to still try it, because especially at 17, this sentence makes no sense at all, but the World Championship finalist is inexperienced in comparison to the rest of the field. So MVG is going to try that element of game, and he'll continue to try, because MVG was trying to do them sort of things to 16-time world champion in Phill Taylor, which Taylor's admitted. So of course he's going to be doing it to the new kid on the block.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Evening, Anthony. Hope you are good. I hope Georgia is good, mate. He did all right, didn't he? Bless him. Get ready for Blackpool. But yeah, it was interesting that you can see that MVG doesn't like not being centre of attention. His post-match press conference was interesting, shall we say, I thought.
Are we surprised?
No.
Because
what top sports, not just darts, what top sportsman in whatever field they're in doesn't like being centre of attention.
Right now, I'm not surprised. When he had a considerable dip of form and wasn't winning for a sustained period of time, most professionals you'd maybe think would step back or come out a bit like Aspinall has to try and relieve a bit of pressure. Michael's never done that at any stage. Now he's finding form again, not to the top of his game, but finding some form again to win a Premier League night, as I've said. He's going to be shouting about whatever win that may be. And I think he will want people to know. Also, I think it goes back to when we were talking about who wins the Premier League. I think MVG will want to make that statement. Whether we can do it or not, I think there is more to it than was it used to be 25 grand prize money bonus? Yeah. Or whatever it was. I think there might be a little bit more to it this year. As I said, we tend to see a slightly different attitude from MVG when there is a so-called new kid trying to break into the scenes and MVG is trying to set his mark.
Yeah, look, I agree. And there's a good point there. And I've brought it up before that I think there should still be a bonus for topping the table to make it mean something. When there was MVG, that's all he cared about was that bonus. He wanted that 25 grand. Where now there's not. He's like, nah, there's nothing for finishing top. As long as I get to finals night, I don't care.
Yeah, it's less to worry about now up until about week 11, 12, when there's one or two who are probably away from the rest of the field or what we've seen before. But that prize money should always be there. There should, in any league format where whatever position you finish in means the same thing, there's got to be some financial aspect, i.e., I don't know, finishing second and third in the Premier League gives you the same thing. It gives you Champions League football. However, there is a financial implication for finishing the place above. There is that extra bit of money. That should be the same, maybe not for all four positions, but certainly for first.
Yeah. There has to be an incentive because I remember last year when he won, did he win 4 out of the first 6 nights or something? And then told us, no, I'm already there now, I'm bored.
And that's what we can't have the Premier League be like, because you tell us plenty of times that the players say that it's the second biggest competition of the year.
They say in interviews all the time. Like, I don't agree with that, by the way. It's third for me. I still think the match players above it.
But if it's the second biggest competition of the year, and after 6 of 17 weeks, one of the players, i.e. at that time, the most talked about, the highest profile player, is bored of it, then there is an issue.
Yeah, well, Gezi said the same. So yeah, look.
And let's be honest, putting an extra 25 grand or 20 grand or 10 grand, whatever it may be, put an extra bit of money into that first place. Yes, the players don't need you. However, we'll see motivational change. We'll see an impact in how they talk about the league and all that sort of stuff. The impact that would have on the PDC is minimal. Let's be honest. It's pocket change to some of the people within the PDC. Yeah. What that might change in the mindset for a few weeks of the Premier League, I don't know why you wouldn't just put it in.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't mind this, but it will never happen because the broadcasters won't allow it. Because for argument's sake, say Gezi or MVG or even Luke on debut this year, say it hadn't gone well for him, there's no way they're not the broadcasters and that don't want him in. So that'll never happen.
I guess there's 2 other parts to it. One, if your following year's world champion finished 8th, how could he then not be in it?
Yeah.
And secondly, whether it's a written rule or an unwritten rule, the top 4 players in the world are guaranteed a spot in the Premier League if they were one of them. So you could have it, but there'd still have to be certain implications of it not being applied, i.e. world champion or in the top 4.
Yeah.
But I would like to see something done. Because if we have the same situation with Peter, and Peter to turn it round, I know we're all writing him off, but he's a multiple world champion. But what we don't want to see is what we saw with Glenn. Now we're seeing with Peter. It just needs to be an unwritten rule that's applied. We're only saying it about Peter Wright, but if Peter Wright then went on and win the World Championships, there's definitely going to be a huge clamour for him to be in the Premier League if this rule was in place.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this, but that's the most ridiculous thing. Anyone that watched the game, there was a couple of legs that if you were even thinking about doing that, he's had 3 darts hugging the wire of double 10 and stuff like that. So the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, people even suggesting that. Whilst we're on the Premier League, we'll stay there and we're off to the Hydro in Glasgow this week. A couple of interesting ties. First of all, do we feel sorry or should we about to be feeling sorry for Gerwyn Price? Because I get the funny feeling he is going to get it this week.
No, I don't. You can't walk off during the middle of a game.
No, I'm not on about that. I'm on about it because he's in Scotland and it's Gary country.
Yeah, but this isn't going to help, is it?
And that might not help, but right, if he's clever, look, I don't think it would be allowed. First of all, but if I'm him, I'd walk on with Gary Anderson's walk-on song.
I don't know if that'd be clever. The fans wouldn't react to that the way that you, in your head right now, is thinking they would react to that. They would think, coming from Gerwyn Price, that is just taking the piss.
Be interesting.
It would be advised strongly not to do it.
I think he might walk on to a Scottish theme song.
Bagpipes and everything.
I'm not saying we get bagpipes, but I think he might walk on to a Scottish theme song, whether that's a band or something.
I won't be opposed to that. I guess the problem with it is how much he talks about being Welsh, how much it means to him, all that sort of stuff, to then go to another country and come out to one of their sons.
Well, I'm guessing he's going to have a tartan shirt again.
Yeah, no. There's only so long that will work.
Yeah,
at certain places.
I think it'll be interesting.
It's not gonna happen. I don't think. Certainly not to Garrison, anyway.
Cheers, Joe. Right, let's go through game one. Rob Cross against Michael Smith.
I'm looking down at my phone because I put my predictions in yesterday.
I haven't put mine in yet because obviously I was busy today, so I'm doing mine on the hop with you now.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking because I know what would happen. I'd end up saying a store on here, and then someone had told me out in the chat straight away saying, "No, you haven't said that." So Rob Cross 6, Michael Smith 4.
I'm going for a bully boy win. I'm going to go 6-4 to Michael Smith. Chat room, get involved as well. MVG Peter Wright.
Surely there's only one outcome. And I have done with that outcome of MVG winning. However, I think Peter Wright gets 4 then.
6-3 MVG for me. Aspinall Humphreys.
This was the most difficult.
Yeah.
Because Peter Wright not being on any points after 3 weeks wouldn't be a surprise. Nathan Aspinall being on 0 after 3 weeks? Probably would be, because we talked about the ways that Aspinall gets results or has got results previously in the Premier League. However, again, I've done 6-4, but I've done Humphreys. I just think, as much as he hasn't started the year great, he finds a way, and we see him for the rest of the semi-finals. 6-4.
6-3 Humphreys. Price Littler.
I'm glad I went early on this, by the way. I've gone for a full house of 6-4s, and Littler winning. And I'm going to be honest, what swayed it was the venue. And that was before today. Because I think today will play a part in the sense of it'll make it a little bit more worse than what it was probably than a bear should laugh. But it'll make it a little bit more worse. But I think Luke Littler comes through 6-4.
I think Luke wins as well, 6-3. I think Gazzy's going to get it from the Glasgow crowd massively. Right. I would like your winner and who they beat in the final.
So now he's won a Pro Tour and people are speaking about it. I'm going to go with Littler. No, I went with Littler last night. I think Littler defeats Rob Cross in the final. I think Rob Cross will get the better of MVG. Luke Littler will get the better of Humphreys again. And then Littler will beat Rob Cross in the final halfway.
I'm concerned that I've got the same winner as you, but I haven't got the same finalists. I've got the same final as last week, apart from its roles reversed. I've got Luke Littler winning 6-4 against MVG in the final. Chat room, what are you saying? Who wins night 3 in Glasgow? And just based off of our results, do we start getting concerned for Aspinall and Wright already?
Peter Wright, 100%. Peter Wright, without doubt. Aspinall, I'm less concerned. Just looking at his run, I'm less concerned. I'm sure I saw this was coming up when we looked at the start for Asp. He's 2 weeks after this on Michael Smith, who's yes, he's currently top of the Premier League. And then it's followed by Peter Wright. That night 5, pre-UK Open, Peter Wright versus Nathan Aspinall could be huge for the Asp.
At the cattle shed in Exeter, you mean?
Exactly there. I think I'm less concerned for Aspinall. I think we could see him on a few points after night 5. Peter Wright, I struggle to see where that win comes from.
Right, only off the top of my head, someone will correct me because I think I remember right. I think he only got 9 points in 15, 16 weeks last year. Is his points total lower this year?
I'm not saying he got 9 last year. I can't. Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna double check.
Yeah, it is 9. I've just looked.
I thought I'd remembered it.
Yeah, I thought it was 11, and that's why I looked. So I was about to say it and stop myself before looking. Yeah, I think it is lower. I think it's in single digits. So then I can't see where that win's coming. And I'm not going to say he's not going to win a game in 16 weeks, because he will. But I definitely can't see a run of victories coming at the moment. I don't know where that comes from. This is an absolutely crucial week. Like I said, being in Scotland, if there's somewhere he's going to let support it be here, but then he runs into MVG, who won last week, I just can't see where that turnaround's going to happen in the Premier League.
No, I agree. I think it's it's going to be difficult.
I also think, Phil, Tom, midway point, if we're in a position where he's only won 1 or 2 games, I think the PDC are going to be hoping that he starts picking it up, because they're going to be on the end of a total barrage on social media and potentially pundits and all that other light who question whether Wright should be in the Premier League at all. If he's then in a position where he's on 2, 3, 4 points at the midway stage, they're not going to like seeing that at all, because there'll be tools for certain players who should have been in that mix.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. World Seniors returns. I'm not going to lie, I'm desperately trying to find a draw bracket here because the Wikipedia page hasn't been made yet. Is there a draw bracket? Do we know? Oh, yeah, there it is. So the third Seniors World Championship gets underway this Thursday afternoon at the Circus Tavern in Purfleet. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait. I think when you look at the qualifiers that have come through the field, a lot of them are highly seeded in the ranking systems. They have then gone on and won an event to qualify. So the form is clearly there. We've got obviously the last World Championship of Phill Taylor. We've got Thornton trying to make it 3, Leonard Dates trying to make it 4, and a few people I think who need to prove a point, especially around the seniors. The likes of Kevin Painter, who probably had a good start, had a few good runs, but probably we expected a bit more from. Neil Duff, I think, would say himself that we've probably, since he moved over to playing in the seniors, we've probably expected a little bit more of. This is now the time for them to sort of step up and play their game. We've got Endo coming in for his first World Championships. Like I says, there's people on the tour who are performing so well, and there's so many different ways it can go. And I know that the market's completely open on sort of who comes through this field. Hendo favourite then?
He was. Let me just double check.
And speaking to Hendo after winning one of the open events a couple of weeks back, the one thing they didn't enjoy about Yeovil was the fact he was down in as favourite. He prefers, he's openly said for his career, the underdog going in under the radar. He's not done it that way then, but he's playing some very good stuff. But yeah, it's going to be another tournament that I think will deliver, and the field has got stronger then.
Yes, he is favourite as well. He's favourite. Gates second, Thornton third, Mitchell fourth, Howson, Burnett, Duffer, McEwen, and Taylor all 14s.
So open.
I know you don't have a bet anymore, so I won't dwell on it too much, but there's 2 outsiders that I think they've got priced up massively wrong. Andy Hamilton at 33-1 and Mark Durbridge at 40-1 is criminal.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. I haven't even mentioned Durbridge when I'm talking about the form. Durbridge obviously invited, however, plays the floor events as well, and recently won an open event, only player to hit a 9 in the seniors tour.
Yeah.
We've seen him perform some very good stuff as well at the Tavern. Not sure he'd be my pick, but I totally get what you're saying. As an outsider, he's certainly one to look out for. And I'd say, as part of getting a seed, the draw's been favourable as well for Durbridge.
Yeah.
That probably allows that odds to be more surprising. One player we've not mentioned, Mr. Boss, certain Richie Burnett.
I was going to come on to him.
I thought you might. I knew he was in there somewhere.
I think he gets rid of Della. And then it sets up a potential Burnett Gates round 2 clash, which would be incredible.
That is, by the way, that isn't an easy draw for Leonard Gates. If you want to try and make it all 4, to have Colin Madera first round isn't.
I don't think Colin's the same player on TV as he's on the floor.
Which I agree with, but there is still more favourable draws on that.
No, I fully agree. There are more favourable draws, but I've seen Colin at the Super Series as well. I just don't think the numbers are the same when there's a TV camera there as when there's not. When there's not, he's one of the best players around at that age. But as soon as the TV cameras are on, I'm not convinced. Also, as well, I believe, I don't know if he said yes or not, but I don't know if he said yes, but Adam said it there as well. I believe Richie Burnett is potentially playing on the Pro Tour tomorrow. What great preparation ahead of this.
It's not bad, is it? There's no better way, I guess. It's how far he goes. If he comes and plays 1 game and that's on the end of a mauling of someone, or then it's slightly different. But why would you turn down that opportunity? It made sense for him to come and do that. We've seen other seniors do it previous years. We've seen Endo. So, yeah, go and do that. And it's perfect prep leading up to this on Thursday, which, like I says, I can't wait for it to start. It's the names, the history of it being at the Tavern, and for me, the qualifying field as well looks very, very strong. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Does the fairy tale happen?
No. I was thinking about whose fairy tale you're on about, but no.
Where does the fairy tale end?
Certain man who's normally in our chat room.
I agree. I don't think the round 1's a given. I looked at the averages the guy posted at the German Super League, and if he posts in and around those averages, he will be a menace.
Yeah. I just think there's something a bit different around playing Phill. Still,
I agree.
We saw that still, even when Phill hasn't performed in the seniors to the level he used to yesteryear. But if there's one player I think who will react well to that, it will be a certain Chris Mason. I think the draw for Mace then is favourable. I don't think Fitton's been playing his best when we saw him. And I think it's Mason who takes out Phill.
I agree.
However, if he gets through that, we could see him into Sunday night.
Yeah, I agree. But at best, that's where it ends. The semi-final. That. Looking at it and looking at the numbers that Phil's posted, look, he may surprise us all, and he may have gone away and worked ridiculously hard for this. I don't think he has, but he may surprise us. No, I agree with you. I don't think he has, but for me, he doesn't beat Burnett or Gates in that semi-final.
He may have done, and if he gets through that first game or any pre-match interviews, he'll tell us he has done. However, even if he has done that, playing competitive action, playing matches, whether that have been at Super Series, we've seen I totally didn't expect him to see him at any floor events for the seniors. But we've seen a lot of the World Championship field who have been invited go and have a few events against the guys in that, because it's a very, very tough field. I think Phil's missed a window here of, well, he's missed it if he really wants to win it. We know how competitive he is, but is that edged on? I guess we'll see in a few days.
So, what's a chat room as well? What's your pick of the first round ties? The one game.
Only one.
Yeah, I want your standout first round tie. I've got two, so I want you to say first so I can pick the other one.
Yeah, I've got two. Just because he got to a final last year and he's up against someone who I said needs to deliver, I'm going to go Jim McEwen versus Kevin Painter.
That was one of mine, so I'll take the other one.
Are you going across the pond?
Yeah, Cameron Long.
That was my second one. I thought you might do.
Yeah, they're my two standouts as complete ties.
Yeah. There's some of them that still throw up a level of interest, and I guess from the tour, Erie coming through, Richard Erie Rowland's coming through one of the final events. The pace he plays at could be a struggle for Neil.
Is he a slow one?
Yes. Martin Turner got his qualification wrapped up in week one. Thornton hasn't performed on the floor. However, he's a different beast on that stage, and we know that he absolutely adores tops. For me, will still be the best hitter of tops. Him and Derwin Price is just ridiculous. And the pace won't be a pleasant watch. But I actually think Stock Mitchell and Matt Clark could deliver, because Stock Mitchell is another one of those who's got a point to prove in the seniors.
Yeah.
There's certainly something there. Yeah, Paul Holden, Bob just mentioned. Paul Holden, number one in the rankings. Floor rankings, is playing some of the best we've seen for a number of times. Known for being a serial qualifier. He's going to be a good watch. Then Terry Jenkins and potentially could face Neil in the second round.
Yeah.
Hard to pick, Mr. Bars. Hard to pick. There is, like I says, there is them two standout first round games for me.
Yeah, I just think that they're the complete ties. So, looking at it, I would like, and the chat room, your quarter-final lineups.
Horrible, man.
Actually, no, go semi-finals. That's easier.
Let's start it down. Sopov. He's just a different animal on stage. I've done the Robert Thornton.
He will play.
I started doing quarterfinals. I got Jim London, Neil Duff, and that's one I can't split. He'll play Neil Duff.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know what you've done.
I've got the same semi-final from the top. I've got Thornton to play Duff in the semi-finals. Bottom half?
We're in a soul match here. I'm doing for a double. I am doing for a double. Actually, I think we might get one of a different. I've done 4. My quarter final will be Chris Mason versus Stop Mitchell, and Stop Mitchell will win. I'm looking at your reaction the whole time. And I've done 4 Richie Howson to lose to Richie Burnett.
We're close. The top half, I agree with you. I've got Mace getting to the semi-final. I've got him beating Scott Mitchell in the quarters. The bottom half, my quarter final was Dudbridge against Burnett. And I've got Burnett, so I've got a Burnett Mason semi-final. Winner and runner-up.
I really should have prepped this, beforehand. I don't like battling until you just made it. My winner, my runner-up is Neil Duff. He will beat Rob Thornton in the semi-final. And he will lose the final to Stotty Dodd, Stop Mitchell.
I've got Neil Duff in the final with Richie Burnett. Head versus heart here. Neil Duff beats Richie Burnett in the final, but my heart wants Burnett to win so much.
I'll tell Neil that.
Everyone knows my love for Richie Burnett. It's been no secret, let's be fair.
You know what? And that's the thing. We've written off, with our predictions here, we've written off Leonard Dates, we've written off Robert Thornton,
Hendo,
4-3, Hendo.
Yeah.
We've written off absolute legends as well. Taylor's performed for numerous years. Yes, we've not seen him on the seniors. We've got so many. We've written off the majority, if not all, of the qualifiers who are in ridiculously good form, because the qualifiers only happened a few weeks ago. In the nicest way possible to stop Mitchell and Neil Duff. I don't mind if my predictions are totally wrong in this, because there's so many of them I think can go on and deliver. And I think first round there's a few games to pick a little bit easier, Mr. Bars, but I think after round 1 it becomes very, very tough.
Yeah, I agree. I think round 1 there's some easy pickings in terms of, and I don't mean this horribly because the players are all good on the floor, but I think there are players that are different animals once the TV cameras go on.
Yeah, and the problem is, I guess, there's some of these we just don't see.
Yeah.
There's some who just don't play as often as we would like, as probably they would like. And there's the form of certain players who we're not sure what we'll see. We've seen some fantastic performances from Trina recently on the seniors. But when I'm saying recently, we're looking back to a fair few months back on TV.
Yeah.
Coming up against Endo, that's an absolute battle. What will Lisa Ashton perform? Like, we know the level she can do. One of the best aims we probably had at the Worlds in the shorter formats was when she faced Neil Duff and Neil beat her 3-2. That was Lisa in parts at her best. She's coming up against Mike Huntley, who's looking to prove his worth after having a disappointing first year in the World Championship. So I think there's intriguing games in there, but there is a few one-sided ones.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But the seniors is available on, correct me if I'm wrong, BBC iPlayer, or you can purchase a full event pass. Go to the seniors website. I'm guessing it'll be on there.
Yeah, so it was asked there outside the UK. I think it's on the BBC Red Button or the BBC iPlayer all around the world. If not, the seniors Facebook page, there is a stream link for the weekend. I think it's $4.99 for the weekend.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
So yes, you can watch it. Not a problem at all from that point.
Yeah, you can watch the tournament via the BBC iPlayer or BBC Sport website in the UK or anywhere in the world. There is a link on World Seniors social media pages, and that's for $4.99. There is still some tickets left, but not many.
No, tickets have gone exceptionally well for the talent. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, you may be a little disappointed, shall we say.
Welcome to the party, job.
Yeah, Will, how are we doing? We know he lost in the final. I'm presuming that he's entered some more events. There are still a few more to go, I believe. No, they're long days.
Did Leonard win one?
I thought he lost in the final. Or did I read social media wrong?
Leonard Dates, Jack Mahl, and Joe Croft qualify for UK Open, so we did qualify.
Ah, my bad. I read he lost in the final.
Did he play in multiple? Yeah. Well, that's what Will's saying. He played back-to-back days, so I'm guessing he lost Saturday, won Sunday.
Right, okay, that's my fault. I didn't the Sunday result. I saw he lost in the final on Saturday. Who else won them?
Jack Mahl and Joe Croft.
Cool. Yeah, my bad. I only saw Saturdays. No live lounges every Monday, Rebecca. Every Monday, 8:00, the live lounge. Look, Leonard will be a danger.
Yeah. We know what he can perform with his A game. He's found ways with his B game. That on the UK Open could be different. But he's one you'd want to avoid.
Yeah.
Especially as a qualifier.
100%. Yeah. So also, I don't know, have you listened to the Matt Porter interview yet?
Not yet. It's on my playlist for this week.
Just wonder what your thoughts were about the over-exaggeration.
I've listened to clips, so I'm well aware of what he said in that part. I guess he's going to say that, right? The PDC made certain decisions. For me personally, they've got the Euro Tour one totally wrong. There is other aspects that they've got wrong, in my opinion, around the Premier League and stuff like that we've talked about. But the biggest one for me is the Euro Tour. The roll around, and then that's the flip of that. The right decisions, the roll around the tour cards. It was just the implementation of that straight away. But I think generally they get a lot of decisions right. The Euro Tour one's just one for me that got massively wrong.
They have part of it, but part of me does agree. Not, by the way, not that it should be 16 and 16 the way they've done it. I don't agree with that whatsoever. But when you listen to the way it was before, that half the field was done by a qualifier, is that right? I'm saying there should have been a tweak, but I'm not sure they've got the tweak right.
How would Lou Littler qualify if that opportunity wasn't there? Lou Littler is an example being brand new tour card holder.
for me, looking at it, I wouldn't have used the top 16 in the main order of merit. I'd have gone down the Pro Tour order of merit further because that's just a 1 year rolling ranking. That's not a 2 year TV one. I personally, I think would have gone further down that and not had as many qualifiers.
Yeah, I won't be opposed to that. The one that doesn't sit well is the World Championship.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. I don't like the 16 and 16.
The Pro Tour way of doing it, you see so many of the big name players who tend to opt out of Pro Tour events. If there was more meaning to the Pro Tour order of merit, obviously they'd have to play in them, and then Euro Tour rankings, all that sort of stuff would then come as part of that. That'd be a better route than a World Championship. Because for me, it's just.
Yeah. That I agree with, but I'm not opposed to less qualifying positions, but I don't like the 16 and 16.
I didn't mind how it was. The reason I didn't mind how it was is because we moan about the amount of qualifiers for certain events, and I think for the big TV events that's correct because there should be certain ways of you getting there, and there's different routes for Grand Slam and Grand Prix and World Match Play. However, for the Euro Tours, I had no objections with the winning 3 games, was it, to qualify? Because we did see generally new fields.
Oh yeah, no, we did. Like I say, I'm not talking about massive changes, but maybe I've gone down to the top 24 on the Pro Tour order of merit or something like that to reduce it slightly.
If there's one time you've spoke sense today, Philip, that can be it.
Well, it does happen every now and then, but only every now and then. Let's not get it all the time. But yeah, the 16 and 16 that I'm not opposed. I'm not a fan of that. 1 o'clock tomorrow. We will be on air at 12:55, the same as we were today. But action starts at 1. Hopefully, this bloody cold will have gone a little bit. So that was that. What else has happened this week?
Super Series, Philip. We always miss it.
Champions Week Field was confirmed. And first of all, week 12, what a fucking week. What an incredible week, full stop.
I'll let you swear without telling you off. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Although we didn't make, we'll touch on the finalists in a minute, but great to see David Evans back to the player he was a few years ago. The action looked Rolls Royce again. The numbers were huge. Good signs for David Evans.
Yeah, and that's what the Super Series provides. Yes, there is plenty of opportunity. Floor events, but for someone of the quality of David Evans, who is on the peripheral of that 1 to 8, is probably when his name's there in regards to being on tour, not on tour, that sort of level. This is where we see where that game is. It was a joy to see that a player of his caliber was back to performing and throwing the way he can.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But Scott Taylor won the week. And again, he's going to be a danger in Champions Week. But he's in that category for me of one of the best players not to have a tour card. His ceiling is incredible.
He is. It's just the run time to be in that category, isn't it? That's the problem. It's the worst time to be in it. And I know we've seen the likes of Beveridge being at ridiculous form down into it. But right now, it's the one time where off PDC, if your ambition's to be on there, this isn't where you want to be into that level. But yeah, the 12 this week are going to deliver. It's going to be a very, very good Champions Week as per normal. And it's set up nicely as well for next week, as next week's going to be great.
Yeah. Also, obviously, I know he's not in the chat room because he's out enjoying himself this evening. But John O'Shea got the last spot. And again, across the 3 days he was in it, getting to the final, the Joker played some solid stuff.
Are we surprised?
No.
And this might be just what he needs. We've spoke to him numerous times over the past few months. Obviously, the friend of the show, being on the live show and fallouts and whatever, and talking to us about it. And one thing he was constant talking about with the Pro Tour is where he struggled is the 70 days without competitive action, or however many days and months and weeks it was. So the fact he's back this week, for me, means he's going to be a huge danger for the rest of the field. Because coming into those few days, he could be fresh and raring to go to lift up the title and that little bit of cash.
Yeah. Well, come on, I'll do the one above it in a minute. Yeah, couldn't come out. So, yeah, look, there wasn't enough turnaround, was there? He's awake.
Evening job. No, it was in earlier. He did pipe up during the seniors.
But yeah,
Evening, pal. I'll see you on Thursday. Wednesday
yeah,
or Thursday, I can't remember.
Champions Week is shaping up already. And then we have the double trouble week as well. Looking forward to that. What else do we miss in a week of darts? Anything?
Don't think so.
We probably did, but
ticket dates released for the match play.
by the way, if you haven't got a PDC subscription, you ain't getting a ticket, are you?
Nope.
Not a chance.
To be honest, I've normally started my countdown now for Blackpool, and I'm texting you most days to let you know when we're going to be there, Phil. I just haven't started it yet. I'll wait till the seniors is out of the way.
I'll be there on the Friday again, don't worry.
All set for trilogy.
Liam, the lineup for Double Trouble is out. 2 seconds, let me find it.
I've seen it as well. Liam, it's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Especially following on from the seniors. Have you got it to hand?
Just trying to find. There's a slide with it.
I'm stalling frantically through.
Where is it? I'm trying to find the bloody thing. bloody hell is it?
Philip.
Wait a minute. Just talk amongst yourselves. It'll be fine.
I've got the clip.
I've got this.
Daryl Pilgrim is
Wait a minute.
one.
I've got it. Let me just download it.
Jim McEwen. 2.
I'm going to upload it into here so people can see it.
Connor Studd. 3.
So I went on Dropbox to find it.
Oh, dob to the rest of you.
So I'd already done it. Right, that is the Double Trouble lineup week.
So for people listening on audio or back, Group A is Robert Thornton, Kevin Painter, Neil Duff, Steve Brown, Jim McEwen, Mark Durbridge. Group B is James Wilson, Connor Stutt, and Conan Whitehead. And Group C is Lisa Ashton, Colin Osborne, and Daryl Pilgrim. Double Trouble week is best to 5,
Yeah.
double out. And as Dan Simpson says, and quoting, that lineup is amazing.
Yeah.
I agree with you, my Geordie friend.
Absolutely an incredible week of Double Trouble in the Super Series. Should we open question time if we haven't missed anything?
If we have, we'll
just pick it up.
Yeah, we'll pick it up.
Get your questions in then, everyone.
Was there some in there? Oh, we answered them during, wasn't
Yeah.
there? So a couple highlighted.
Mark, I haven't looked at my diary, to be fair. I've got some com dates in there, but I'm not sure when. Look at the views on Little Searle already. Yeah, look, just one of the best games on the floor ever.
In his first final.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam Luke does need to qualify for the Euro Tours on Wednesday. Just 2 qualifiers, 1 and 2 on Wednesday, isn't it?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Imagine him going back to back and then not qualifying.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
Next Wednesday and the Wednesday after, he's back to back qualifying.
Yeah, because he's got to get from Wigan to Glasgow.
At this rate, he'll have a private helicopter company sponsor him and then he won't worry about it.
The top 16, top 32, the way it's done is the same thing. Because it's 16, and those 16 and those both sets of 16 make up the 32 pretty much. So it's the same thing. There's 10 qualifying spots now, isn't it? So it'll be played down to the final 10.
Correct.
Well, Jamie, funny you should say that. It's been quite a quiet day, really. Nothing really much has happened. No, I genuinely think and I said this last year when he was at the Super Series, I genuinely think he's a generational talent.
Second that, Mr. Bars. I've done past the stage I said earlier. I've done past the stage of sort of not building him up anymore because he can do everything. Part of me was worried around the leads he used to have in Super Series when he'd not switch off, but he'd entertain others.
You get bored.
He can do that now.
Yeah.
He's that far ahead in some of these.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Bob. I didn't see any of the PDC Europe's next gen, so I need to have an investigation properly because I didn't see any of it.
No, neither did I.
Yeah, I guess Ryan Searle's new darts are all right. Yeah, look, it can take long to get used to them, that's for sure. All right, well, we'll give him a second chance. Does Boise think Littler's going to win another Players' Championship this year?
This year or this week?
Either or.
I was going to say, I didn't expect him to do that tweet. But, yeah.
The fact he's already in the green for the Grand Prix is brilliant.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Like, he's ridiculous. He is ridiculous.
Just watching the game back. Yeah, treble 18 switching is Priestley-esque. Yeah, look, he's so comfortable on all parts of the board. It's just mad. Oh, there's definitely a Waggers happening on Saturday. Yeah, the new kid's going to Blackpool. And that $8,500 is going to get swallowed up very quickly.
And Dan, before you asked, he's too young to the trilogy. Not this year. Perfect timing, Mr. Simpson.
Has the lineup been finalised yet? Do we know?
I know four guarantees, and then I know the fifth is between two. I just don't know which way it was
I
final.
know one guarantee because I was speaking to him at the Super Series.
I think I can say 3 of the original lineup, and then a couple of newbies.
Nice.
But the 3 of the original lineup is, that's what you told yourself. Told bid is 3, and then
Webster, Mason, Lloyd. Am I warm?
How you sniffing? I'd say you're told.
I know one of them's right. Actually, no, I know 2 of them's right.
Henry's not doing one of them. There's no karaoke in trilogy. Thankfully.
I was like, thank fuck. I don't know. Has he qualified for Blackpool yet?
The person's not on tonight to answer that question. He'll answer next Monday for you.
This is the point. We missed this one, and I'm pleased about this. That Bo's going to play the Dev Tour this year.
I am. But I've seen it was followed up by a few comments from people close to Bo that it's not going to be as many as we'd like.
Oh, is it not going to be all of them?
Won't name who, but quite easy to there. Someone who's very social media friendly. She's literally decided to do a couple of development tours in between her WDF Thompson Women's Series weekend. That's all. So
That's a little bit disappointing then.
And then it's a step in the right direction. She's still got plenty of time on the Dev Tour. And she's going to be another one in that mix. You don't want to draw early on. It's just going to be some and not all.
Yeah.
Dob, very good points. The Welsh Open has been moved.
Right, in England now.
Western Supermare.
It's gone from North Wales to Somerset.
Yeah, I did say that.
Right, obviously, look, I don't know of any other locations, but surely, have we got any Welsh of our Welsh friends in the chat room? Surely there's somewhere in Wales that could have hosted it. Surely.
It's a strange one to say you're playing in. If your missus didn't follow darts, it'd be very hard to convince her why you're doing to Western-super-Mare to play in the Welsh Open.
It's like saying I've just won the French Open in Madrid.
But at least it's happening, right?
Yes. The 6th of July, we are going to have another live show up in the northeast. To be fair. Yeah, the snooker Welsh Open is held at, is it the ICC or BIC, wherever it is, but it's next to the big golf club on the way in through Newport that always clogs, Celtic Manor.
Just makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Mrs. S wouldn't be having any of that. Could you imagine? I'm going to play the Welsh Open, love.
Dan, you that away as much as any of us. I don't believe that. I think she butts them for you.
Yeah, look, I don't get it, but look, I'm guessing they paid a truckload of money to have it there.
Well, from what the statement read, it was more around the Welsh organisation having somewhere to run the event, and it was more of them saying thank you than someone else coming in and trumping them. I think it was the best suitable venue.
Not at the moment, no, because of the way his schedule is. Look, he might play a couple here and there, but I think his schedule will have to be managed very well. And like we said earlier, he's got a great team around him.
In one sense, I don't know if I'd want to see that setup.
Not now, I wouldn't.
That's what I mean. Even as an exhibition,
No.
I don't know what would benefit from it.
Yeah. Yeah. But in general, I think he'll do some exhibitions, but obviously at the moment, his schedule is very busy. So I don't think so. Missed this one. Very nice person. Absolute top lad. Look, they're not, but they still play a big part, especially in that period between Mineheads and the World Championships. We see a lot of the big players doing 3 or 4 because it's good match sharpness and stuff like that. But right now, no, because of his schedule. But going forward, yes.
Yeah, we'll see him doing them. There's no ifs or buts about that. It's just when that opportunity arises, we can't have the conversations now about him playing too much or he's doing this, he's doing that, and then withholding for him to play in exhibitions. We will see him, and he'll produce a lot of magic if you don't watch him. But I'm sure he'll be involved more towards the back end of the year, ready for the Worlds.
Yeah, I must admit, I was gutted. Did anyone see what point Simon Whitlock was throwing today? That'd have been interesting to see. UK Open is on the horizon, which should be good. Also, I forgot to say this, that I'm going to call it Area 57 because I can't remember what it's called. You know the bit I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We name it a different number every week. We're never there right. So it's pointless trying now.
That is not in use this year at all.
Oh, we're back in reds, aren't we?
Yeah, but you're going to laugh at this because it was built during COVID and it's not a permanent structure. It's only a marquee hidden very well. So they're knocking it down and making it a permanent structure.
Now you've said that, I'm not surprised. I'm not going to lie. After being in there last year. But, so, is it reds for
Stage 2.
stage 2, upstairs for 3 to 8?
Yeah. Studio 36, that's the one. Yeah, well, it will be in Minehead soon, but they've got to knock this one down first. Which is a bit mad.
Dan's asked one in there, Phil. Worried about Luke Humphries' form since the World View?
Nah, not at all. Once the season settles down, he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. There is that target on his back at the minute. And let's be honest, he's running to lose little most weeks if he's not won something. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, look, he's not going to do a Michael Smith and go and enjoy Vegas and stuff like that. It's once everything settles back down, he will be fine. Is mine then a ball ache to get? Yes, it is.
As a non-driver, yes, it is. It still is.
It's horrific. You get to Taunton and it says Minehead 22 miles. You think, yes. An hour and 15 minutes later, you're still driving.
Yeah, heading down on the Thursday day, but I'm guessing you're Thursday night, Friday morning?
After
After Premier League.
Joe Croft has qualified for the UK Open. The son of Ollie. Yes, it is. It's just about the worst place in Britain to get to. It's not far off, mate. Oh, I'll give you that one. It is horrific. Yeah. Jamie, cool. Keep us posted on what it's like. I thought you were flying down, Dan.
In Littler's private jet. Good luck with that journey, Dan, but I will see you on the Friday.
To be fair, look, it would be better not to use Minehead twice. There are other Butlins in the country, one in the other.
Is that just because of the reason you've just said?
Partly.
The ball ache of doing that.
Yeah. Need an event in the north.
There is an event in the north.
The seniors are coming.
Correct.
Fair enough, Dan. Fair enough. Vincent normally goes to Exeter first because he's there with Michael. what's classed as the North. Everything for me. Yeah, fingers crossed the Grand Prix goes back. We hope.
Correct, Tonner. Seniors on Grand Slam do clash.
What, TV?
Yes.
Great.
When we are up in the north, when we are at Rainton Arena, as Dob, I'm guessing he's on sale. These certificates for that are on sale this week.
The first weekend of the Slam or the second week?
First weekend of the Slam. On the only one of the days are it's across Friday and Saturday. So right. The Saturday will clash, but the Friday will be a free run in regards to other darts. So it's on the 8th and 9th of November.
If you could replace Wright in the Premier League, who would you have chosen? Before the season started, Dobie, but probably form-wise now, Bunting.
I would still though Dobie.
Yeah, I thought Dobie deserved another go. I really did. But everyone, thank you very much for your support as always. I'm not going to lie, I am shattered, so I'm going to go get some sleep. We go again tomorrow. Back for Players Championship number 2 on air from 12:55. Make sure you are there because it's not going to be dull, is it?
Can it be better than today?
I don't know, but I think they'll give it a damn good go.
If we're that half as close.
Before we go, where does Luke get to tomorrow?
It's horrible.
That's what I do.
Loses in the final.
Quarterfinal.
Losing the final.
There we have it, everyone. We have been Online Darts. Thank you very, very much. This will be available as an audio only in tomorrow morning by the time I've edited it. And like we said, plenty coming up. And make sure you drop us a follow and subscribe. Thank you very much for all the new subscribers. And we'll see you 12:55 tomorrow. See you all very, very soon.